We're talking about the game that is coming out tomorrow, Donkey Kong Bananza. As Nate said before, we're not giving our impressions because obviously we don't have it. First thing we want to say is it's got a 91 on Metacritic and OpenCritic. This makes it the highest rated game in DK history. Ooh. Does this raise your hype?
Ooh.
For me, no. I'm already hyped as hell. This doesn't add to it. I'm just ready for it.
I got really sad for a second. I was like, "Oh, he's not hyped," and I was like, "Oh, because he's already he's already maxed out. Hyped. Yeah, right. He's already maxed out. We're good. We're good." I was about to. I'm already
pretty rough. He's maximum hype.
Yeah. The meter's full.
Yeah. Flam, what are you thinking?
I just think it's like, I think it's great because I was slightly worried about it, not necessarily because I didn't think it was going to be a bad game, but I was worried just because of how, I don't know, like World was really good. And I know it's a totally different team, totally different development process, whatever, but just the vibes, right? The vibes were just kind of like, oh, are we going to get something that's good? Is it something that has like a lot of meat on it that we're going to get to sink our teeth into for the Nintendo Switch 2 finally? And with these reviews, I feel a little bit better that that's what we're getting with this. We're getting a pretty like meaty piece of just game. It's going to take forever to beat, or if you want 100% it, and it's not going to be like World is that fun multiplayer feeling, but I've since put World down, not necessarily because I don't like it, but just because like, I'm already past it, I think, at least for the near future. But now I'm ready to like, all right, give me that first person, give me that Breath of the Wild moment for this console, basically. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Yeah. Josh, what are you thinking? How's your hype
just
level?
a quick sidebar. Okay. My hype level has been at, like, I've been stoked for this game since it came out. I'm one of the probably few people, maybe both, like one of the two people that like Donkey Kong 64.
No, you are not alone, Josh. You're not alone. Here we go.
You're not alone either.
Let's go.
Got it on the shelf.
Yeah,
let's go.
With you. Right here.
Crazy
yes.
you say that. The second highest rated Donkey Kong game of all time is Donkey Kong 64 at a 90.
Above the countries? Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Wow.
Seems crazy. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, and again, it's not like that really correlates. It's been how many years, right? So
yeah.
That being said, from the moment they showed anything about that game, I was like, yo, this is like, I don't know about you guys, but I think a lot of us probably figured it was the Odyssey team. Like it just oozed Odyssey charm, right?
Oh yeah.
It just
100%.
It was, and so I couldn't be more stoked. I did go. I took the little one to Walmart and they had it set up.
Nice.
And she wouldn't let, she kept hitting A as I was trying to because I wanted to record a little bit, and and she kept taking player one, and so I'm like, okay, I just got to record, and then every time it's on, she turns the switch on to play Mario Kart World, she's like, I want to play Kong Kong. I'm like, well, it's not, it's not here yet, And she stopped saying Kong Kong as much. It's because she's getting a little bit older, but every now and again, it still comes out. So, I'm excited for Kong Kong Bananza.
Cute.
Hell yeah, Roger.
Yeah, I mean, I'm completely in agreement with everything that's been said already. I mean, if my wall behind me does not say it, with all the Donkey Kong barrels and all the Donkey Kong stuff, random Luffy in the middle, but next to Luffy's King K. Rool. So there's still a little bit of Donkey Kong stuff on there. But yeah, man, I can't wait. I feel like I have waited, much like Josh. I'm a huge fan of N64. Donkey Kong 64. I feel like I've been waiting for a 3D Donkey Kong literally for 25 years. I was so sure that we were not going to get one that last year I interviewed Steve Sobel, who was the host of the old Hot News 64 VHS tape. Turns out he's a neighbor of mine, lives 10 minutes away. And so I was interviewing him, asking him, what would you like to see with an upcoming Donkey Kong game? Because there's rumblings at the time, DK Country Returns HD was being rumored that they were like, oh, that's going to be coming to Switch. And he was like, yeah, I just miss the days of the good old 3D Donkey Kongs though, where you could walk around. And then lo and behold, this got announced in March. And I just saw him 2 weeks ago at Anime Expo. And he was there with this kid and they're both like, are you streaming Donkey Kong? Can we come over and play? And so even the guy from the N64 VHS tape, Hot News 64 25 years ago, was stoked for this game. So yeah, I absolutely positively cannot wait And based on everything that I've seen, the review scores, right? Again, the Metacritic's super high already. And I think that did actually increase my hype a little bit. I feel like I was already kind of at the maximum amount of hype, but I think it pushed me over to like an 11 once I started to see that, like, oh, this is reviewing as well as like an Odyssey or something else. Because I feel like I think we've even talked about this like last time I was on the show, because it would have been around the time of like the Switch 2 experiences, right? Where we were sharing our thoughts on stuff. Yeah, I see Stashman over there, like, yeah, nodding for sure. It was right beforehand. And I had played Bonanza at that event, and I was explaining that, like, I thought it was really amazing, but I'm not like that big of a Mario fan. So I'm more of like a Donkey Kong, even like more of a Sonic person than I am a Mario person. So I went back and I played Odyssey about, I guess it would have been like 3 weeks ago or something on stream, because they had done that Switch 2 upgrade. And I'm like, I want to go back and try to see if it's better than I remember it being. And I ended up loving it. And that got my hype even higher. And then now, like I said, with these review scores, the fact it's being developed by the same team, the gameplay already kind of being like Odyssey, where you're collecting all the bananas. It's just, yeah, it's going to be great. I have no doubt this is going to consume my life for the next 2 weeks. So I can't wait.
Stashman.
Yeah. So, guys, I'm very excited. I walked away, of course, from the Switch 2 experience event. Super excited. As you guys know, I played twice because I loved it so much.
Much
Obviously,
to a certain lady's chagrin.
Right.
I still can't believe you got away with that.
The ire of one of the employees.
I know.
That's also rare, because a lot of the employees were like, if you just enjoyed your time with it and they could tell you enjoying your time with it, they're like, yeah, just play again. It's fine. And I know the day you went was not that busy, because I saw you the day before at the Nintendo store. So,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So hype levels, it's maxed out. It's been maxed out. I've just been trying to manage the max level, right? As we all know, when you get really hyped for something, it's really important to just kind of try and manage the hype so you can do the other things you need to do in life and focus on those things and not think about, a game that's not here yet, right? When I saw the reviews hit this morning, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't even thinking about the scores hitting today. I mean, obviously it's the day before. Yeah, they're going to hit today, but I wasn't even thinking about it. Only because, look, if it gets a great review score, I think that's a big win as far as maybe the rest of the casual gaming side of it, right? There's definitely people that put a ton of stock in whatever that number is going to be, whatever that Metacritic is. I think there's a lot of people that probably say, hey, if it's at least a 9 out of 10, it deserves my money. Anything below a 9 doesn't. Which is why I don't give scores on my reviews, because I think it diminishes the value of a game when you do that. And it actually hurts its discoverability. However, when I saw those numbers, I was like, this is good. This is great to see. I don't need them to tell me it's great. I played it. I know it's great. I said in my impressions that I think it will be a Game of the Year candidate. A lot of people crapped on me for saying that in the comments. And I didn't care, because I know it's true. I knew it to be true. And here we are.
Yep.
Which is great to see. I said in the video that this is the Super Mario Odyssey team. People said, you have no proof. I'm like, you're right. I don't, but I know it is. So everything's been proven correct. Yeah, I agree. But man, I'm just super excited that we're finally here. This feels like kind of a, obviously we're going to be getting into some of the other topics later, but it does feel like almost like a second launch of the Switch 2 right now.
For sure.
Like this is the big one, big single player IP to kick it off. It's been 26 years. I even said in my comments earlier, like, God, 26 years to wait that long and then beat a game in 5 hours. No thanks, dude. I would never do that. That's nuts, right? Just to think about when you've been waiting that long. But look, I was a big fan of DK64. I have it up on my shelf. I actually have 2 physical copies up there. I don't know why I have 2. I really don't, but I think an extra one somehow got into my collection. But I absolutely love the games. You guys know I love Donkey Kong Country. Reviewed them all on my channel. Big fan. So, that's it, guys. I think everything else you guys said, I completely agree with. I'm happy to be here. Hyped beyond belief.
Perfect. Gamebird, how you feeling?
Yeah, listen, this is an interesting one because I've had a journey of evolving hype for this game. When this game first got shown off, there was a couple things right away that stood out to me that I instantly fell in love with. I love the new Donkey Kong design. I think he looks fantastic. I love how charismatic and quirky and just how animated he is. The world looked vibrant and colorful and looked really neat. That being said, watching that first trailer and watching the treehouse stuff, it looked fun, but I had reservations about this game. I expressed this on the podcast. Then Stash went and got to go hands-on with the game. And I asked Stash, I'm like, listen, my biggest concern with the new Donkey Kong game is there more substance than just a playground where you could destroy the environment and grab collectibles? I was worried about that. I just wanted there to be a lot of substance here and something more than that. Then Stash told me, hey man, I'm telling you right now, this game is going to kick ass. I had so much fun. I had to play it again. I was playing it as much as I possibly can. That started to build my hype and my confidence in the game. Then we got what was possibly the greatest single focus game direct we've ever had from Nintendo. And that blew me away. That kicked my ass. It looked so good. I love Pauline. I love the new take on her. I think it's adorable. I love the old school kind of King Kong vibes that I got from the trailer, the dynamic between Donkey Kong and Pauline, and the fact that she's fully voice acted, giving that human element and that touch of character and relationship between the two of them, I think is going to go the distance in this game. So that really surprised me. Skill trees, obviously,
Awesome
costumes and transformations. It just blew me away. Boss fights. It looks like there's a fun, quirky story involved. So hype level shot up instantly after that moment. One of my most anticipated games of the year. And I don't know that the reviews today leveled up that hype again. And maybe this is the wrong word for it, because I don't want to say that it justified my hype, but it's really cool to see when you watch something and your hype grows for it and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this game. And then on top of it, you're seeing critics say like, dude, this is one of the best Nintendo platformers, open world platformers we've ever had, if not maybe even the best. The gentleman at IGN who reviewed it said that it surpassed Mario Odyssey in Galaxy 2 for him. That's huge. Like that is a huge thing. Mario's been kicking the 3D platformer world's ass for decades now. So I'm just really excited. I'm getting the game physically. I have it ordered physically. So I'll be playing tomorrow. Part of me is tempted to double dip. I want to play it so bad. I'm going to hold off, but part of me is really tempted to just download a copy right after this podcast and be irresponsible and stay up way too late when I've got work early in the morning. But listen, man,
I should have taken work off.
I
PTO,
did that for this. I'm taking so many days off for like Nintendo related like days, and so it's tough. But I will say, man, I feel bananas for this game. I can't wait to get my hands on it, and I could easily see this. I mean, it's too early to tell now. I haven't actually played the game, but based on what I'm seeing, based on what I'm hearing, I could easily feel like this could not only be one of my favorite, if not favorite, Donkey Kong games, but maybe one of my favorite 3D platformers of all time. Time will tell, but I can't wait to dive in.
I just want to mention one thing that you brought up that none of us brought up, but it was a really good point. And again, I was already like really excited. However, something you mentioned was seeing the transformations and the leveling, right? Getting new skills. That's something obviously we didn't experience at the Switch 2 experience, and definitely like shot up my hype level, where I didn't think it could go any higher. I'm like, wow, this is huge. So I just want to
He's
mention
a zebra
that.
now.
Dude,
Exactly.
skills, skill trees and
yeah.
a leveling skill system in a Nintendo 3D platformer. Yes, please.
Yeah, like
And
unheard of.
specifically
Badass.
on the topic of the skill tree thing too, that I find fascinating, and something that I think also made me realize like I probably am going to even like this more than Odyssey, is that essentially like it's as if when you collect a moon in Odyssey, you get a skill point to like level up your moveset, right? You can add to your vitality, you can get a new move, you can power up your moves, whatever. That's literally what the bananas have become. They're as prevalent as the moons. They're hidden all over the place, but you can actually utilize them to make Donkey Kong even stronger. So like my assumption is for a lot of people who are like more hardcore platformers or people who are like more used to this, is they're going to like buff up all of their actual abilities and not necessarily like buff up their vitality and just like go to town and rip to shreds like a lot of these environments. And it's going to be cool to see the different way that people are playing.
Absolutely.
And then the other thing I wanted to hop off of real quick was you were mentioning about the reviews. Is I'm kind of the same as you. It's like I don't really review stuff as much anymore with like number scores. But what I do like to do is I like to read reviews of friends. And there's two in particular. There was one, Tim Geddes over at Kind of Funny, did one today, and mentioned, also a huge Nintendo fan, also mentioned that he liked this more than Odyssey and both the Galaxy games. And I was like, wow, okay, that's surprising. And then hearing that paired with my buddy Gene Park, who also reviewed the game, gave it a perfect score. And I had talked to Gene like 2 months ago when I went to Epic Universe, because we went for the media preview for the opening of Donkey Kong Country. Yeah. And we were talking about like our experience with Bananza at the event, and him saying, you know, like I enjoyed what I played, but like I wasn't as hyped as you were after you were done playing it. And now to see he's at that level and was won over, I was like, oh yeah. We're locking in. Like this is going to be an all-timer. Yeah. So I think it was cool to see those two different perspectives and like how they evolved over time. Yeah,
totally. Can I add one last thing I forgot to mention, but this is an important one for like how I'm feeling about this game. And this happened when we got that direct on this, not necessarily with the review side of it, but when we got that direct for Donkey Kong Bananza, this game to me represented one of the things that I love most about Nintendo, and it's them embracing the weird side, you know,
for sure.
All the weird, goofy stuff that they plug into their games, the weird ass transformations, you know, the huge orangutan with butt cheeks and like the banana mane and the ripped zebra that can run on water. That that completely encapsulates like what has helped made me a lifelong Nintendo fan. I love that side of Nintendo when they're like, let's do something weird here. And they plug this sort of stuff in all sorts of games. Obviously, you know, I think A Link to the Past, adding like the Mario elements into it and just all the weird like Splatoon, you know, just the whole game is so weird. Nintendo with characters named like Crispy Sean, who's like a tempura vendor, you know, like that's the like I love that it looks like we're getting a full dose of that in this game. And it's just another element that has me amped to kind of get lost in this world.
Yeah, and the music is something I feel like also that it's just like going to be that hidden, that extra layer. I feel like it's always an extra layer, especially something we found out with Mario Kart World, where we were like totally didn't expect that. And it was just such a treat. Like I always hear people being like, oh, it's an $80 soundtrack with a game attached. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I am looking, even if they do like a fourth of what they did in Mario Kart World with music wise.
Oh, yeah, there's like over 100 tracks.
Yeah. And they do anything like big jazz with Donkey Kong, but then with, you know, the typical jungle sound. It's gonna be great. Yeah, I'm gonna be listening to that on stream literally for
100%. Yeah,
DK's soundtrack is absolutely legendary.
I'm sure. Yeah,
you hear it throughout so many of my videos on my channel. I will put it like in the background, be it, you know, Aquatic Ambiance, Sticker Brush Symphony.
Oh yeah, I was saying Aquatic Ambiance is like iconic at this point.
It's so good, dude. So good.
It's crazy too because I think even with like the DK64 talk we were mentioning earlier about like maybe there aren't a lot of people that are huge fans of that game. Everybody knows all the songs. I mean, like the DK rap is iconic.
Yep.
Right? You've got like even the different like the bonus music from that game specifically was the first thing that they listened to that was remixed that was on Nintendo Today, where they played like the like that specifically that track. So much of like what it seems to be the soundtrack of this game is obviously directly pulled from the stuff that we got from those Rare games. So I do love the fact that it's like they're taking the stuff that was great about the Rare stuff while also implementing it with like the gameplay and the stuff that they've learned from Odyssey. It's like a mix of all the best possible worlds. So yeah, it's honestly a dream game. The fact that it's coming out in the way that it's coming out is already amazing. So the fact that the game is actually good, a cherry on top. Yeah.
I want to apologize in advance. It's thunderstorming really bad where I am. So if I like randomly cut out, that's why.
Fair enough.
Yeah, shit happens.
Fair enough.
I'll
Stay
try to
safe,
tune
man.
it down
You
for
got
you.
There you go.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, great. Prime, how you feeling?
Oh man. So before I dive into it, there's a couple super chats I wanted to feature that's all about this hype because holy crap. Janky Kong, appropriate.
Yes.
On a Kong topic. Can't believe people doubted DK. Literally the reason I got switched to. Been waiting for this longer than 3D Mario. You think? 26 years? Just saying. 26 years. Yeah, I think you've been waiting, man. It's pretty awesome. And then this is one that really gets into my hype because I really loved Mario Odyssey. And it was very obvious to me when we saw this game that it was, the initial reveal trailer that it was the Odyssey team. It just very, like, literally my first guess was, oh, hey, it's Mario. And then the punching on the wall, I'm like, okay, no, that's not Mario. It's DK. The rumors are true. It's actually a 3D Donkey Kong. Because all the rumors, everyone was leaning, oh, it's probably just another side-scrolling DK and maybe has like a 3D thing to it. Well, no, actually, it's a 3D DK that has some side-scrolling to it. So that's pretty awesome. And again, shouldn't be surprised because Mario Odyssey was a 3D Mario game that also had some side-scrolling in it for Mario. So like, oh, that's kind of see how that works. But this comedy from Demonic Brawler, really sums it up pretty well. I was excited for DK Bananza when it was just a rumor, and even more excited once it got revealed. But my hype levels went through the roof after the Donkey Kong Bananza Direct, and now I feel like a kid on Christmas Eve. Did that Donkey Kong Bananza Direct, I think, hyped everyone.
It really did. I mean, the fact that it did so well, like people were talking about the viewership on it right afterwards. So many, even the reaction videos to that Direct ended up on the trending tab on gaming. So it's like, that definitely sold people who weren't already sold on the game.
And I think it was a Direct that was needed because someone like me,
for sure.
I'm a huge Nintendo fan. I was always planning on buying this Donkey Kong, and I'm sure I would have enjoyed it. But I had those concerns. I was concerned about substance and just that there was more than the destruction. That, like, dude, the discourse after that Direct, like people who don't even care about Switch 2 are like, okay, that was a good, like that was good. Yeah,
that was pretty sick.
Yeah. And Carcon, who's actually been playing it, one of our fellow Japanese fans.
Nice.
So, I played last night and on my commute to work this morning, and they're in love. Smashing is so fun. I feel strong and unstoppable. Went back to fantasy life, and I missed smashing the environment. A bit of a different game. just a little bit different. But no, look, I obviously, I've been looking forward to this game for a long time. I as someone who has played every single Donkey Kong game, honestly, I never felt like it was ever at the level of a Mario. Even the country games, like they're really good, and the land games, they're really good. It's not Mario World. It's not, Mario 64.
Okay.
I know. It's fine.
There's an argument to be had there. I mean, DK, Donkey Kong Country 2, best side-scrolling platform of all time, literally better than any 2D Mario game ever made. But neither here nor there. That's fine. Topic for a different video. That's fine.
2 has an argument. I'll give you 2 has an argument.
I gotta go.
Is that for me, Donkey Kong's never really felt like it's been on the same level as Mario, and I feel like that's also been reflected in even the sales. Mario just sells significantly more because people tend to enjoy the games more, and the country games are great, but they're usually more challenging than Mario, and maybe that put off people from it getting massively successful. And I thought Donkey Kong 64 would have been the game that did it, but it scored a 90, but it felt like nobody played it. It was really weird. It's like it's really well reviewed, but nobody plays it. It started to remind me of Metroid Prime. Like feels like a game that should sell 10 million, but I don't know, 3 million, 2 million. What do you mean it's a 95? How's nobody playing this game? So to be fair, if it's like an indie game, that's incredible sales. But for Nintendo, that's a drop in the bucket for them. That's Kirby kind of sales. So I sit back and I look at obviously the direct that really got my hype going. And then Stash doing his impressions that really got my hype going. And then the reviews today. I knew it was going to review well. I know some people were predicting it to be like a little bit higher up in the 90s. I didn't really care exactly where it fell. What I cared is there was not a single negative review.
Right.
Not even a mixed review. Everything's our 8s and above. That's it. And that to me, let me know, okay, I haven't played this yet. I haven't even played the demo. The reviewers are putting this on the level of a 3D Mario. And that, I mean, yeah, I saw some of the reviews where they said, it's better than Odyssey. That's all going to be subjective. Of course, obviously, guys, review-wise, it's like 6 points lower than Odyssey. It's all going to be subjective on if it's actually better. But one thing I kept consistently seeing when I glanced at the reviews was it's like they took Mario and smashed it into the best of Rare. And I'm like,
that's heavy.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy. And there's literally smashing. So,
right. Yeah.
like, I'm just, my hype was already really high and it's through the roof. And when everyone is just saying that this is the first game, because, Mario Kart World has a little bit of controversy with it sometimes, the price point and a little bit less tracks at 30 instead of 32, well, all this, whatever. Point is, nobody is being controversial about this game. Literally, everyone is saying this is the first game to come out on Switch 2 that you need to buy a Switch 2 to play. This is the one. And that's crazy to me. Because it might be the highest rated Switch 2 exclusive the rest of the year. I think Metroid Prime 4 is going to be pretty high because Prime games always go pretty high, but it's also on Switch. You don't have to buy a Switch 2 to play Prime 4. Yeah. So I kept thinking, what else could be coming out this year? Maybe Splatoon Raiders. But then I look at the Splatoon games, they don't tend to score quite this high, and it's a spinoff. So I don't think that's going to get up here. Then I'm like, well, the Hyrule Warriors game, if that does hit in December, maybe it might be the best of the Hyrule Warrior games, and it's going to run silky smooth because it was made for Switch 1, so it's definitely going to be hopefully a locked 60 FPS. But is that going to do it, or are people kind of done with that Zelda? I don't know. So that's kind of it too. By the way, I kept looking at Dragon Drive. I don't think that's.
I don't think Dragon
that's game of the year. I'm not strong.
10 out of 10. Yeah,
I'm doing the test, but it ain't going to be reviewed like this. This is a game that could take one of the 6 Game of the Year slots at the Game Awards. It could happen.
It will. There's no doubt. Even the way that like people are talking about it, who are people that are on the board that nominate games for Game of the Year. Yeah. This is currently at this point in time, even despite how well Death Stranding 2 was reviewing, it is currently between Expedition 33 and Donkey Kong. It is one of those two games years to lose, which is, I think, bonkers. Like even the fact that this game, people haven't played this yet. And, the reviews are just coming out and they're already talking about this. Like it is the game to go up against Expedition 33, which is also like a masterpiece. So I can't wait.
I think 100% this game will be in one of those Game of the Year slots. I don't know that it could win Game of the Year, but I am 100% that it will be. First off, it's Donkey Kong reinventing itself, which is always a big deal in gaming. Yes. Whenever a series is able to reinvent itself successfully, that goes leaps and bounds for a game. Not only that, it's offering a combination of platforming and mechanics that don't exist elsewhere.
Yep.
So there's a lot going for it, and it's reviewing in the 90 plus and stuff with tons of 10 out of 10s. And so I think it's got all the makings of a strong Game of the Year contender.
Hey, Astrobot walks so Donkey Kong could run. All right.
That's right.
You know what? I'm not.
That's right.
I'm gonna stay away from that one. That's what a touchy one with PlayStation fans today.
I don't know why. Why is that such a touchy one?
Can't we
I
have
wanna-
both cakes?
Right?
Can we like two flavors? Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, I mean, you could literally like both games. I don't understand.
They're all good. And if you're a
Yeah.
PlayStation fan, Astrobot won Game of the Year last year. Expedition 33 is probably winning it this year. So, like, Donkey Kong's not going to win it. It's unfortunate. Like, for Nintendo, it's unfortunate. But, you know, it is what it is. There's a lot of more incredible games this year. A lot more competition, a lot more stiff competition. We haven't even gotten to Prime 4, which a lot of people expect to also be in the 90s. And that could take a Game of the Year slot as well. It might even be the highest rated Game of the Year and not win. It's just not as popular as Expedition 33. So, we'll see what happens there. And don't be wrong, if it does score like a 95 and doesn't win, Nintendo fans are not gonna let this down, because the board is the one that rated it 95, and then they chose a different game that rated lower. You know what I mean? Like, because the fan
Hey
vote,
man,
doesn't count for that much on the Game of the Year award.
it
No.
doesn't.
It's like
But to be fair, Fire Emblem Three Houses wasn't nominated, so
yeah.
you never know.
That's right. I
Yeah.
guess it wasn't.
It won the fan vote for
Yeah.
Game of the Year,
My
but it was
thing
not
is-
a nominee, which is wild.
The reason
is
I
weird.
don't guarantee that Bonanza will make it in, because I do think Prime 4, if tradition holds, will rate higher, and they'll just give it that slot because Metroid Dread got one. So, just, if it's the highest rated Game of the Year, they got to put it in. My thing is, they put in the past Ghost of Tsushima that was an 83, and the Ghost of Yotoi is still coming out, and that could kick one of Nintendo's games out, even if it doesn't rate as high. Because for some reason, I don't know what it is about Jeff Keighley's awards. They like having two Sony games, two Sony exclusives, like every year thrown in. Death Stranding 2. Yeah, Nintendo fans, by the way, would be irate if like an 82 rated Ghost of Yotoi gets in and Donkey Kong is left out. That's a 91. That's going to be pretty controversial.
Did you
Especially
say-
when all these reviewers are like, best platformer ever. It's like, oh, but you didn't nominate it?
Wait, did you say Ghost of Yotoid? Because
Well,
that
yeah,
sounds
yeah.
awesome, like a Metroidvania
Oh, that'd be
Ghost
sick, actually.
spinoff.
Ghost of
With a little
Tsushima
bit of
game that's like a
rad.
Metroid game would be awesome.
Yeah,
With-
I
with
think you
Yonoid, right?
accidentally created.
That's
an
what I was
original
thinking.
spinoff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yonoid, Metroid. Yes.
Sure.
It's the crossover we never knew we needed.
That's right. Ghosts of Yonoid.
I just said, yeah,
It's crazy. It's actually crazy.
Dude, I'd pre-order it right now.
I'd day one, yeah, easily.
Yonoid on the Pizza Crusher.
Ghosts of Yonoid.
That's
awesome.
Ghost of Yoshi. I'll show you, buddy. All right. But no, I'm really excited for this. The reviews were never really going to make me more hyped. It was just going to more reassure the hype I already had. And look, man, it's DK time, man. We had the copyright thing come out with the movie. We have obviously the game, the theme park launches, probably some Lego sets coming to go along with all this stuff.
Aren't there already Donkey Kong Lego sets?
Yeah,
I'm pretty
yeah,
sure.
there are.
Yeah.
I'm on a big one.
Yeah.
One of those $300, $400, like the
Like-
day
like-
the NES,
Like the Mario Kart right there.
Mario Kart.
Yeah.
I don't have the Deku Tree one yet. Could someone just like buy it for me?
There you go. Send it the thumb goal.
Buy 'em-
Literally just
buy
do
'em
it.
too,
Do
so
it
we
like
can
a
do
super
both.
check goal. There you go. Yeah.
Boom.
Anyways,
I
no,
check it too.
seriously, I was in a sporting goods store the other day, and they had the Deku Tree Lego staring at me. I'm like, are you just
At a
this
sporting
is a
goods
sporting
store,
goods
huh?
store? This is a
Nice.
sporting goods store. Why is there? Oh, you want $400? Oh yeah, let me. God, why do I gotta buy a $300 baseball bat for my kid? I'm putting that back. I gotta get the Lego.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Man,
Deku Tree
this
as
is
a
a
baseball
Put it
bat.
there for me.
Use the Deku Tree as a baseball
I'm
bat.
like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in a sporting goods store, and it's staring me in the face. It's like, it's time. It's time. I'm like, no, get what you came for. Don't disappoint your son that you didn't get him a bat for baseball season. Anyways, no, I'm really excited for the game, and I literally can't wait. I mean, I'll be live streaming it tomorrow, guys. I still don't know what time I'm doing it at. It don't matter. I'm probably gonna wake up, take a shower, eat some breakfast, and be like, dude.
It's time. You got to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, of course.
Game
Let's
time.
go.
Breakfast
Apes together strong, man. That's it.
obviously having a banana for breakfast. That's
Yep. Oh, of course. Of course.
Got
or
it.
just put it on stream. Screw it.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay, so moving on to the second part of this topic. Nintendo shared a photo of what Donkey Kong Bonanza would have looked like on the original Switch.
Oh yeah.
Get that
Whenever
one
it
here.
loads in there.
oh yeah,
That's
this
so
is
wild, yeah.
crazy.
Can I zoom in here a little
Yeah.
bit? Is that looking?
That's pretty
too
good.
far?
That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay. So they shared this out, and then according to Digital Foundry, Nintendo is using FSR1 with the game, a technique they used on Switch instead of DLSS. Also, the game does not support VRR. Do we think that Nintendo made the correct decision making this a Switch 2 only game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, without a shadow of a
100%.
doubt. I mean, you're already
1000%.
getting people complaining about like the frame rate on the
Mhm.
Switch 2 version. Could you imagine the discussion around people being like, "Look at Nintendo's garbage game running at 10 FPS, bro. This is
I
so
know.
bad." It's like
Yep.
you would get so many brain dead takes on Twitter and on social media. It's like, thank
Yes.
goodness. I already have enough brain dead people in my mentions on Twitter. I feel like I don't need to give them more of a reason to be brain dead, you know?
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah. This one's a no-brainer. Yeah, obviously, reviewers have commented that there are frame dips. You know, when you're digging super deep with in your, you've got like destruction happening all around you. I could only imagine, like Roger said, how that
Yeah.
would look and run on the Switch One. But I mean, even looking at these images here, just like the plant life. I mean, just you know, way more populated with plant life. They've got the updated lighting effects, like the light tracing that's coming down. You're getting a better running and a visually more stunning experience. I imagine, I agree with Roger. I imagine had this game launched on Switch One, it would be in a more bare, unimpressive, but also a state where people are going to be like, Donkey Kong is it a shining example of why we need new hardware from Nintendo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
The thing is too, like, we're not even all we're seeing is a still image.
Mhm.
Imagine trying to burrow into the dirt,
Yeah.
into the like, and I don't know if you guys have been playing a lot with like, you know, games like Cyberpunk and going from quality to performance and just seeing the difference. Like that, I didn't care about 60 FPS all that much. I didn't think, and now I'm like, oh, I can't. Like, what's happening to me? Like, the Switch 2 is ruining me, you know. But in a good way. Like, it's like, oh, this is stuff we should kind of start to expect, right?
Sure.
And then the flip side of it, if this was for Switch 1, let Mario cook as long as he needs to have a game that was built for the ground up for the Switch 2.
Yeah,
right? If we're
absolutely.
already seeing something looking so incredible with Donkey Kong, let Mario cook. I'm happy. I'm fine being patient with that.
So on that note, we actually had a super chat with it. I said, you know, what do you think this means for 3D Mario with DK reviewing so well? And the Odyssey team does when does Mario come out this gen? One, I don't think any of us doubt Mario's coming out this gen, right? No doubts. No.
Of
Yeah.
course,
No
comes
way.
out.
No.
Oh, yeah, this gen for sure.
Yeah, like whenever it's gonna come. They're not gonna skip a gen. They just came off the best-selling 3D Mario ever. They're obviously gonna do more. But I will say that it's interesting when like Digital Foundry mentioned that, you know, they're using FSR1 and also using Switch 1 techniques instead of using the Switch 2 ones, because we do know the game started development on Switch 1, and I kind of felt like they just carried that development forward and then just took advantage of the extra power. It also makes me think that this game maybe it's been done for a little while.
Yeah.
Probably.
And they've been cooking on 3D Mario for maybe even 2-3 years at this point. They just decided back then in 2021 that, hey, you know what, we're going to move this to Switch 2 because we want the 60 FPS. We want the particle effects. We want the, you know, they talked about the voxel stuff in their Ask the Developer stuff about how it just didn't feel right at 30 FPS. Like they were just, it just something about it was off. And then when they moved it to 60, suddenly it felt right. And kind of makes sense because some of that leads to the 30 FPS drop, which is because there's no variable refresh rate. That's actually what happens, guys, when there's no VRR. Whenever there's a little bit of frame rate drop, it drops at 30, drops it in half. It's stupid. Like, and it sucks that the variable refresh rate wasn't being used on the actual screen, like in handheld mode. We know it's not supported in dock mode, but why not in handheld mode? It doesn't support it. It kind of lets me know that they really were trying at one point to hardcore make this for Switch 1 before they brought it over. So that to me means 3D Mario's probably been cooking. So to answer that question, not only are we going to get it, I don't think it's going to be that far away. I don't think it's going to be that far away.
That's what Sash and I have been saying,
with
man.
Being far away though, because I feel like to me this year obviously is a pretty big deal for them with the Mario anniversary coming up. I know we're not there yet. I'm sure we're going to have this conversation talking about the Nintendo Direct predictions, right? Like what's probably going to happen in the general Direct. I truly, genuinely believe the general direct that's coming up is going to announce that there will also be a Mario Anniversary Direct, and that on the Mario Anniversary, just like they did for the 35th, we're probably going to get like Switch 2 edition of Mario 3D All Stars with Galaxy 2. We're probably going to get Switch 2 edition of Mario Wonder with like a remake of Mario 1. We're probably going to get like there's a lot. The Mario Movie 2 casting for sure. We're going to get. They'll probably announce the Donkey Kong movie stuff officially because that just
Mario
came through
Maker
like a
3.
trademark. Mario Maker exactly is something that can happen too. Like I think there is so much Mario and Mario Kart, right? They could do Mario Kart World like the first big DLC pack for that, and all of that would be plenty for a Mario thing, even if they weren't going to announce a straight up new game. But I do feel like whatever the first new Mario game is, I'm betting it's going to either be a Mario Maker or it is going to be, like I said, some type of Switch 2 edition of Mario Wonder, or potentially even a Wonder sequel. But I think 3D Mario, they're probably going to allow a little more time with. I am of the mindset that the team is probably split in two, and they probably have been cooking this up for a while, considering this was being made for Switch 1 originally too. But I also don't think the new 3D Mario is going to be like an Odyssey 2 in the slightest. I think it's going to be
I don't
something
think so either.
totally different. Either taking
Completely
advantage
new
of mouse
idea.
controls, totally new idea. Like it's going to be something else, which is another reason why I agree that I think it could be coming out sooner than people think. But I don't think like a full-fledged 3D Mario is like coming within the next 12 months or anything like that. Yeah.
Is the 3D World team, is that who did Odyssey? I don't believe so. No, like is that a
don't
separate
believe
team?
so either. I think
I
the Bowser
don't
Fury
believe-
thing was a different
because-
team.
Hear me out. We get
Yeah.
Mario Maker 3. And the gimmick, because it's 3, is you can build stuff in 3D with that
That'd be sick.
3D World
Love
format.
it. Yeah,
Or
I would
the
love that.
Bowser's Fury format. Like if it's Bowser's Fury or like a game that's in that engine, that would be fire.
That'd be
sick.
amazing. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
play around
Sorry.
with like a 3D playground. That would be cool.
That'd be awesome.
My
I think
theory-
that would be a great selling point for it. But yeah, sorry. Go
My
ahead.
theory is that 3D Mario is going to be next holiday, and they'll pair it with Pokemon. And the
Yeah,
reason
I agree.
the reason that I think they'll do it then is because they said this thing very interesting. They started work on DK Bonanza after Mario Odyssey. They didn't clarify when after, but they were trying to make it sound like this has been cooking a long time. This 8-year gap,
Yeah.
we were making DK Bonanza a while ago. Like we might have been done with this game a while ago. Then we got to 2021 and we're like, you know what? It doesn't quite feel right. Let's have a team move this to Switch 2. But the rest of us have been working on 3D Mario, maybe even for a couple of years. So I feel like, obviously let the 3D Mario team cook. If it ain't ready, it ain't ready. Nintendo's always let them cook, right?
Yeah.
Nintendo is not one of those companies afraid to just push games back until they're ready, especially their biggest of their big games. So I'm not worried about it, but I kind of feel like it's going to get teased in September for the 40th, not come out till next year's holiday, which now we're well into Zelda's 40th.
Sure.
But it doesn't matter because it's all about lining up your big games to keep things selling. So, and it's funny because speaking of that, there was somebody who said something about, let me see here, about if this should have been the launch game instead of, I'm trying to find the super chat here. The launch game
Instead of Mario Kart.
Yeah, instead of Mario Kart.
Yeah.
And I will say, I think for a lot of us on an individual level that prefer single player games, sure. But from a business perspective, no.
Yeah.
They
I
bundled
totally
Mario
agree.
Kart. They weren't going to bundle this game. And look how incredible Switch 2 is selling. And it's still, you still can't walk into a store right now and buy one. Now you will be tomorrow, limited quantities at Best Buy, maybe some of the other retailers too, but it's sold out every week. So at least in the US and Japan, I can't speak to some European countries. They might have better stock over there or less demand or whatever's going on. I know there's some people, they always say, well, I live in Sweden and it's been available every day. I'm like, okay, well, congrats. I don't live in Sweden, so I'm sorry. People might start importing if that keeps happening.
Do you guys feel like I asked this question today like on my stream earlier? Do you feel like Mario Kart is more like a companion game than like a mainline game for a lot of people? Like
Yes.
it kind of seems to me like
100%.
it's like the party game. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not the like I'm grinding time trials and I like the competitive stuff and like I'm not the norm. I realize that, but like I'm kind of wondering if strategically if they were like, let's launch with this one and then the word of mouth goes that like, hey, this is a really fun party game. It's like Jamboree essentially, right? Like,
Mhm.
but it's the series that everybody picks up. But now maybe they wish they hadn't waited so long on Switch 1 after seeing the sales of, even though it was only a couple months for 8 Deluxe to hit. And so, we're not getting that Breath of the Wild, like everybody, selling more than the systems, but I feel like there's some strategy here with what they're doing. And I think building the hype, and then especially, I mean, they've known for a while, like, that this game is pretty amazing. Obviously, now the reviewers are already telling us the same thing. Launch it a month later, and it's like you guys are the first people I've heard say this. It feels like the launch of Switch. It feels like the second launch of Switch 2 already,
Right.
and it's only
It's the
been
grand opening.
Yeah,
And,
100%.
and last month was a soft opening.
Which is, I think, kind of why it's smart that they've continued their, like, not really revealing their schedule. Which I know, like, obviously for those of us that are content creators, it's like, no, we want to plan around everything. But realistically, for the common person, right? Like, they already know Mario Party's coming next month, right? We already have a date for Kirby. We already have a date for Pokemon. We don't have a date for Metroid yet. There's all these other things that can still come out before the end of the year. We don't have a date for Hyrule Warriors. We know that's coming. We don't have a date for Kirby. We know that's coming. Right. Like, there's already so much stuff that we know is out. And I think they kind of wanted to replicate the success of 2017 with the launch of Switch, right? Where, like, there was something every month. Whether or not you liked that thing is up for debate, but there was something really good every month. And the really big releases, the Odysseys, the Xenoblade 2s, the Mario Karts, the Splatoons, they were separated by like a month or two. And I think they probably realized, look, people are going to want Mario Kart. And at launch, if they're not buying like the bundled version, if they really do want the physical one, the one game they're going to buy for Switch is probably going to be Mario Kart. Well, if they're going to spend all this money on a new system and then buy Mario Kart, why cannibalize their own first-party sales by having another big thing when they know that 2 months later, people are going to have money from their paychecks and go, wait a minute, Donkey Kong, I do need another game on my Switch 2 now. And boom, they go to pick this up. Again, for us, it's like we're playing our Switch 2 every day. We're spending all this time doing it. But I like completely agree with what Josh said, that this seems like a companion piece sort of game that, like, people got it so they could play with their friends. They're unlocking characters. Maybe some people at this point, like the average person, probably has like, 10 or 12 characters unlocked or something. Meanwhile, we're all sitting over here like having unlocked Fishbone and Peepa and all, like we've done everything, but most people haven't, right? And they're now probably around the 2-month mark, getting to a point where they're like, you know what? I could probably buy another game now. Like, and Donkey Kong looks great. So I think it was smart to let them cook and sit on it for a bit.
As we went live, the Amiibo alerts tweeted that Walmart has Switches.
Oh,
and they still have the bundle. So now you go in, you buy your Mario Kart bundle just like you bought, the Wii and Wii Sports back in the day. And now you're also, now I'm going to pick up Donkey Kong as well. So like I think there
was a strategic restock here.
Yeah,
I believe so.
Yeah, I got a couple points I just want to bring up real quick on this too, as far as this question, right? And I do get asked this a lot. As far as, do I think DK should have been the launch title? And my answer is always absolutely not. And I get where you're coming from, though. Like, you would have wanted that. And would I have enjoyed a single player outing? Yes. But again, from a business standpoint, but to break it down a little bit, Nintendo introduces game chat. This is a big deal. This is a huge feature. Which game is utilizing game chat and the camera the best? From the launch.
Of course,
right.
Yeah, of course.
So Mario Kart, that's one. Two, and I mentioned this probably a year ago when we did predictions on what we thought the launch title would be. I'd said Mario Kart. One of the big reasons why, though, is because it's going to get more people to buy the console because it's a multiplayer game. It's going to get more controllers sold, more accessories sold.
Yep.
The wheel attachments, but all the extra controllers, man. And that's something that the accessory makers also benefit from. And I'm sure it's very appreciated for all of them that is a launch game, because it makes it easy for accessories to fly off the shelf. The charging, yes, all of this stuff. So I think that's really important. And the last part is, again, this I've been talking about for a long time. And I am very confident that we are going to see an announcement at this upcoming direct about it. But Mario Kart, the reason why it's a launch title and a pack-in, with the pack-in being, what was it, 75%? If I recall, or 70-30?
I think it is 70-30.
Yeah. They want everyone to have this game because Mario Kart is literally the driver for the rest of Nintendo's IP to advertise those games. And come on, man, like why would Donkey Kong and Pauline have one costume?
Right.
We all know why. Those are
True.
coming to Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that'll be happening once the game comes out. But I think this is something you can expect throughout the life of the console. So this is why they need Mario Kart in everyone's hands, because that is free advertising to 70% of Switch 2 owners.
Yeah.
Just
And
by playing the game.
I totally agree with what you just said too, in terms of like them using Mario Kart as their platform to then promote their other stuff, right? Because like, especially they're doubling down on the fact that like Mario Kart is now Mario characters, right? Like they removed the Zelda stuff, they removed the Splatoon and Animal Crossing stuff. At some point, maybe that'll come back whenever they have like an Animal Crossing game to push or whatever. But realistically, with Donkey Kong, you could do Diddy, you can do, you know, Dixie, you could do Cranky, you could add all the new costumes for, you know, for Donkey Kong and Pauline. You could have all the Donkey Kong themed stages. You could then repeat this for an eventual Yoshi game. You could repeat this for an eventual WarioWare game. You can repeat this for like the next Luigi's Mansion, right? Like there's a lot of Mario franchise games that are tentpole that could easily be added to Mario Kart World and have those be like the big thing that pushes those. So yeah, I totally agree. I feel like that is another reason why World had to be out first, is because they want to use that as the thing that they know everyone's going to have to then go, hey, by the way, we've got this coming out in 3 months. So yeah.
I also think there's a simple argument as well that Mario Kart's their most popular IP. If you have a choice between your most popular IP and an IP that's never actually sold extremely well, you're going to go with the one that sells extremely well first.
Of course.
And that'll give you an install base that might want to try out the other one that has never been a massive seller for you, but could be. At least Nintendo thinks it can be if they put it in the right light.
Yeah.
And you've already obviously been pushing DK, right? Brought him back in the movie. He was very popular in the movie. And then obviously you have the DK theme parks, and now maybe people have more interest in it. Hey, we get this Mario Kart game out that we know is going to be a success. And then, hey, now we got 4, 5, 6 million people that already have the system before we would drop the big single players. Now you have an install base. And I mean, for Nintendo, the only question I really have for Bonanza, and this is one we're not going to know for a year, 2 years, is will it be evergreen the way Mario is? Because Mario is usually evergreen for like 3 or 4 years before sales fall off. Will this game be the one for Donkey Kong that goes evergreen? I don't know.
So.
Yes.
The movie.
Yeah.
The movie.
The movie is going to do a second push for
It's
sure.
going to get a huge bump.
Look
Yeah.
at New Super Mario Bros. U. Sales shot through the roof after
Everything.
The
Mario
all the
movie.
Nintendo, all the
That
Mario
happens
games shot through the roof.
all the time. It
Also,
happens
a little
with
bit of
bad
a
games. And this
little
is
bit
a
of
good
a
game. It happens with bad games too, though.
Oh, constantly. I was going to say a little bit of a live fact check, actually, because I remembered you were talking about sales and how it's not really like a big thing for them. I think a lot of us just kind of forget like the golden era of Donkey Kong, because for a time, right, like with the Wii
I know what
U,
you're gonna
obviously, yeah, the Wii U obviously was not a huge system. So of course Tropical Freeze didn't sell a lot. And with Donkey Kong Country Returns, the Wii, in terms of like the top selling first party games on the Wii, there was a lot more choice and a lot more things that like reached out to your grandmas, like your Wii Fits and your Wii Sports, like things that hit more of a blue ocean than like a gamer audience.
Yep.
But when you look at the total sales, I just looked this up on the Nintendo website. In the top 10 best-selling games on Nintendo 64, coming in at number 7 was Donkey Kong 64, above, which is crazy to me, above Star Fox 64, Banjo-Kazooie, and Pokemon Snap. And directly under Donkey Kong 64, at the 8th best-selling, was Diddy Kong Racing on N64. And when you look at Super Nintendo, okay, in the top 10 best-selling games on Super Nintendo, number 3, the third best-selling game on Super Nintendo was Donkey Kong Country. And the number 6 best-selling game on Super Nintendo was Donkey Kong Country 2. So I think like it's just been so long since that golden era heyday of Donkey Kong that I think a lot of us forgot that no, there was always a long period of time in which these characters were like top of the line, best selling, like always doing well. And then, of course, we even date back to like the NES era, right? With the original arcade Donkey Kong port. Like Donkey Kong's huge. It's just he's sort of been out of the zeitgeist for a bit. And now we're in this renaissance with the theme park and the movie and, you know, even the character in the Mario movie and the re-release of the Returns games on Switch and this. It's like he's back.
I also wonder if there was a little fatigue.
Probably, which is weird because there were only 2 retro games.
There was only 2 retro games,
Yeah.
right? Like it's weird to be like, oh, there was some fatigue, but it's like, yeah, but they were just kind of doing what the old games did, and we don't really know if like it didn't feel fresh. You know, it just kind of felt like you're just repeating something that longtime fans are familiar with. The last fresh one was Jungle Beat spinoff, and then DK64, which I know it's in the top 10 selling, but the N64 didn't sell very well, so a lot of people didn't really play.
Forget Donkey Konga.
Yeah, Donkey Kong
Game was badass.
I love it. I got my bongos right back there, man. I love it.
I'll say this. I'll say this. My first console was an NES. I've been playing Donkey Kong since Donkey Kong Country on the SNES.
Right.
And I remember when that first game came out, you know, friends at school talking about the game because we hadn't seen visuals like that before on a console. And that was the last time in my life. Obviously, I had a group of friends when DK64 came out who, you know, we were hyped. It's like a 3D platformer Donkey Kong game. But the most discourse I ever heard over Donkey Kong was in the SNES age. Fast forward to today, I've never heard in my life, as a lifelong Nintendo fan, as many people talking about Donkey Kong as they are now. There is I don't know with 100% certainty that this is going to be a big evergreen title. I think there's a strong chance for it, especially like you guys mentioned with the movie when that drops. And we also have those theme parks. You know, kids are going to be going to those theme parks and families, and that's going to be stirring up interest. I can say without a doubt, I think this is easily going to be the best selling Donkey Kong game ever, period.
Without a doubt. Yes.
You know, one thing we got to look at is like it's going to get a bump from both movies. It's going to get a bump from Mario, then from DK.
Not in the Mario movie,
but also,
oh no, he definitely is.
Donkey Kong Country and DK64 were both themed pack-in titles for the SNES and for the 64. The Jungle Green,
of course,
so
iconic, of course,
yeah. So we can't put it past Nintendo to not do that again with the Switch 2.
Yeah, do like a Mario, not a Mario movie, excuse me, like a Donkey Kong movie bundle for Switch 2, where after Bonanza's been out for like, 2 years, they end up doing like a yellow banana or jungle green Switch 2, have Bonanza as a pack and have it as their holiday thing to launch alongside the movie. Like, bro.
Let me make the pitch because this is what I want. I want the Donkey Kong Bananza themed dock where it looks like a wooden barrel with the red DK.
I love that. Yeah.
I want it so bad. I want it so bad. It's so sick.
We
bring that 64 controller back too with the banana cover.
Please. I love it.
So you say this is going to be a bundle that has the game in it?
It will definitely if it came out like at the holiday season alongside the movie. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say, I'll just say this. Furukawa likes to play things safe, right? What was the holiday bundle every year for Switch for 8 years?
Mario Kart, of course.
They didn't really bundle anything else till later in the gen. So I'm kind of like,
well, there was an exception with Pokemon. Pokemon, they had the theme systems with Pokemon. Pokemon, they've done, and they will almost definitely do that next year, considering the next gen. Animal Crossing, you're right, though, didn't. Yeah.
That's why
there were those rare like Aces and 1-2 Switch bundles. That was kind of strange. But
I forgot about those. Or like the Nintendo Switch Sports, right? Wasn't that one as well? Yeah.
Yeah, at one point, They had some really weird bundles, but like it was never like, hey, let's put Mario Odyssey and Zelda in a holiday bundle. No, we're just not doing it.
Well,
no, they re-released Odyssey with a strategy guide, same as Zelda. They were a different box art, like right.
Yeah.
It's like, great, you're making me buy it again. I'd rather buy it again if I'm putting the system with it.
This is also crazy. I'm just looking at sales data now because I love this kind of stuff. And I don't know, my brain is like hyper focusing. I'm looking at this list when we were talking about the sales on Super Nintendo of Donkey Kong Country and Donkey Kong Country 2 both being in top 10. Number 11 on Super Nintendo was Donkey Kong Country 3, which only sold, it said 3.5 million. Yeah. But to put that in perspective on the Super Nintendo, Donkey Kong Country 3, which was the worst selling of the Donkey Kong trilogy, which was still the 11th best-selling game on Super Nintendo, sold
Wow.
more than the entirety of Super Metroid and Kirby Superstar combined.
Another
Wow.
important
Crazy.
thing that you got to know with that is that DK3 came out in November '96 after the Nintendo
N64.
64 release.
Wow.
Before,
Which
yeah.
just makes it that
Wow,
much
wow.
cooler.
That's
Man.
wild.
Absolutely wild.
Yeah, literally Kirby Superstar and Super Metroid. Kirby Superstar was 1.4. Super Metroid was 1.4. They were only differentiated
Yeah.
by like 20,000 units.
like
It
DK
sold both, then more of them combined. Yeah.
And DK64 came out like right towards the end of the N64 era when we were already hyping up GameCube.
It's 99, yeah.
I feel like every time I look at the sales and I see the release years, I always look at this. I'm like, the last time that DK really had a fair shot was Returns on Wii and then Country, and those are two of the best-selling ones they've ever released.
I was going to say, and Returns, despite the fact it's not a top 10 best-selling game on Wii, like I said earlier, it's because of the Blue Ocean stuff. But Returns sold like 6.5, which is still more than Donkey Kong Country 2, which was one of the top 10 on the entire Super Nintendo.
Yeah,
it still was a huge success, and it's been re-released twice now between the 3D version and the HD version now.
Yeah.
So
if we only count initial releases, it's the second best-selling DK game.
Yeah.
So it's interesting looking at that because those are the only two games that really released during the peak years or like the heart of the generation until Bonanza.
Which is now at launch, or right after launch.
Yeah,
It's essentially, but Bonanza's in the spot that like Melee was in with GameCube, where it's like a month and a half later, right? Where it was like everyone was hyped about it. They all knew they were going to buy it, but GameCube came out and it still was like another month and a half before we got smashed.
Yeah.
So, and Pikmin, I think, was in the same boat, wasn't it? Pikmin was December.
Yeah. That's why I'm fascinated to see if it's got that evergreen. I think the movies will help. Is it going to sell outside of the movie periods? I hope so. I mean, look, was it Gamer? You said you think it's going to be the best selling. That's going to be at least 10 mil to do that. I think it's got. I think it's definitely got a shot. I think we're going to boost this holiday. I think we get another advertising push.
I could see Bonanza hitting 12, 13 mil, maybe even 15.
Yeah.
No joke.
What's Odyssey at?
I don't want to speak for everyone else,
30.
but this is the most discourse I've ever heard. Obviously back in the SNES days, I wasn't on Twitter or anything like that. But even amongst friends who aren't even that into gaming are like, dude, that new Donkey Kong game looks sick. And it's like, yeah, it does.
This is gonna be one of these things. We'll start knowing more tomorrow and in the coming weeks and stuff. But also, like earlier this year, what drove Claire Expedition 33 to do so well wasn't necessarily the critic reviews; it was the user reviews. They just amazing. So if like the user reviews come out and everyone's like, dude, no, this is a must play. You have to play it. One of the best platformers I've ever played. And it just keeps getting said that way and keeps spreading on socials that way. Then the Mario movie trailer drops in September. Everyone's like, oh shit, there's DK. Hey, wasn't there a DK game that came out that everyone's raving about? Shit, I gotta get that for my kid this holiday,
Yeah.
Well, and then just to speak on the evergreen, when DK gets announced as a Game of the Year nomination, that's more word of mouth. That's more hype. That's more marketing. That's more press for the game. And guys, we talked earlier tonight about how good that Donkey Kong music is. Think about the orchestra
playing at the Game Awards, of course.
Oh my god, dude!
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I need
They literally brought Pauline out, didn't they, for Odyssey? They had Pauline come on stage of it. They'll probably have a kid come out and start singing like "Heart of Gold," "My Dream Come True," or whatever the hell.
Absolutely.
They revealed who the singer was the other day, and I'm just like, dude, if they get her at the Game Awards to come out and
for
sing
sure. How wild will like the total shift be though? Where you have the Game Awards and you lead with this little kid singing like a hopeful Donkey Kong song, and then it just goes into all these French people being like Claire Obscure, and everyone's going.
There's like people dying on screen and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
They might go like that to Split Fiction or something.
Exactly. Death Stranding. They'll go to Death Stranding. That's what it'll be. Kojima will have some fun like band on, and they'll go to Death Stranding. Yeah.
See, I feel like they're either going to do that with the singing, or they're going to somehow have like the main theme of the song and then mix in, the DK rap because it came back.
I love it.
Oh my god, dude! One of that I will say, guys. Regardless of what happens, one of my favorite things about the Game of the Year awards is that orchestra, man.
It's the best.
Incredible every year.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, I'll watch TGAs every year just for that. It's so good.
Yeah, yeah.
To piggyback a little bit too on the timing, school starts in a month as well. So any of the kids that are playing that this summer, they're going to be talking about it on the playground with
100%.
Oh yeah,
Totally.
We're playing it
Great
on the
point.
playground.
Yeah, that too.
right.
dude,
Yeah.
I missed
Hey,
those.
Hey, you
days.
bring your Switch? Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
3 kids. None of them have a Switch 2. I don't know what parents out there are Richie Rich out there, but hey, you want to drop $500?
Yeah.
My kids ain't touching Switch 2 until that light version comes out. I'm telling you right now. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
need the
stop. You
anti-kid
got like
version.
7 Switches at launch, dude. I don't want to
No, I
hear it.
I got one.
We need the version that's like a brick that you can throw against the wall and nothing will
upgraded
happen.
and
Like
then
the first
got a
fight.
Switch.
No, between the two of us, we technically did get 7 Switch 2s.
Well, okay. Those are giveaways. Everyone's like, well, you can give away. You can't buy them for your kids. My kids don't deserve them. Come on now. I love it. I got to earn that. I need straight A's on those report cards, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to
There
incentivize. You can't just hand your children everything because then they just expect everything. Fun fact. I learned that hard as a parent years ago. All right. I handed them all 3DSs and that backfired. I should have made them earn it. Should have made them earn those 3DSs.